Ah, there you are. Where have you been? I've been expecting you. Hey, Maxine. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode live stream from Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Always 100% Elvis. And I hope we're all well today. If you're wondering why, if you're in the United States of America and it's an hour later, it's simply because it's the same time here, but you're an hour ahead of us now for the next 2 weeks. Not ahead of us, but you know what I mean anyway. It's an hour later for you for tonight and next Sunday, because we don't move our clocks for another 2 weeks. So next week it'll be the same time as it is now, if that makes sense, and then we'll synchronize again. Hi, Arkansas Dave. So we've got the magnificent Maxine and dynamic Dave doing the housekeeping and the moderating tonight. So yeah, I'd like to unfortunately start off on a very sad note tonight. As most of us will know, this young lady, Laurel Goodwin, passed away I think about a week and a half ago, but it didn't really break for a few days after she passed away. Laurel Goodwin, 79 years of age. She obviously, we know her from starring opposite Elvis Presley in Girls, 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 but she did have other strings to her bow as well. And as you can see from that photograph there, she is a wee cutie pie. She really was. And I'm particularly sad because I was working on trying to get her onto the show to speak to us all, and unfortunately I ran out of time, and as I say, she passed away. So that's a sad time, another sad time in the Elvis world for us all. Slowly but surely everybody seems to be passing away, and yeah, so that's Laurel Goodwin. Girls, 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 passed away at the age of 79. And I agree with you, Angel Baby, very sad, yes. And I was very sad when I found out. Right, okay, as you can see on the screen, we've got Elvis Radio 24 Hour. Links in the description box below for the app that you can download from Google Play. And I've also put the link for the website as well. And Elvis Radio 24 Hour broadcasts the best of Elvis Presley to the entire world, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. His songs, rehearsals, on alternate takes, live performances, and we are collaborating together. I have his little thing on the screen, and he has links on his website to this channel. So that's just, I'm giving him a little bit of help and he's giving me a little bit of help. So two Elvis fans helping each other out. Now, the topic, amongst other things, and I wanted to start as well by showing you this, which is, if you follow this channel on Instagram, and you send the message Elvis Prize to me via a private message. There's like a private message option on Instagram, and I will pick a winner at the end of the month. You have to be following me or following the channel on Instagram at the end of March, so don't just follow me and then unfollow me again. And as I say, I will pick out a one of you who's sent that message Elvis Prize to me. And I don't even know what the prize is yet. I haven't decided, but it will be an Elvis prize. And there was a little bit of confusion. Some people were sending me Elvis prize on Facebook Messenger and Twitter and things like that, but it actually has to be on Instagram. You have to follow the channel and then send me that on Instagram. And speaking of prizes, if you were watching last week, Duncan was the lucky recipient of February's Fan of the Month Aloha from Hawaii 3 CD box set, and that is actually winging its way to Duncan now. I've ordered it up and sent it in the mail, so he should be getting that shortly. So, prizes galore from Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel. I like to give you back as much as I can because you're very, very good and very, very loyal to this channel. And people do help me out, buying me coffee and things like that. And it is most appreciated. And it goes back into the channel. Now, this week's topic is Elvis's 23rd movie. I will be opening the phone lines as well shortly as well. So if you want to ring in free on Facebook Messenger and Instagram, you can do that. But they're not open at the moment. So if you're trying to ring in, you won't actually get through at the moment. Yeah, so 23rd movie, Double Trouble. One of my favorites. I like it. Starring, obviously, Elvis Presley as Guy Lambert. Annette Day. Let's get some photographs up, shall we? I always forget to do that. Annette Day, Jill Conway. John Williams as Gerald Waverley. Yvonne Romaine as Claire Dunham. Guy Lambert, Elvis, is a leader of a small combo touring Europe. In London, a wealthy heiress falls in love with a singer. That's Annette Day, plays Jill Conway, who is sent away to Belgium to keep her away from Lambert, and finding out her uncle, John Williams, is trying to steal her inheritance. Okay, Guy Lambert knows that. Guess who ends up singing in Belgium? Of course, Guy. More trouble arises when Lambert is suspected of jewel smuggling. And although the film was set in Europe, all the action was shot on the MGM backlot in Culver City. Now, Annette... Let's just get Annette up here because I have quite a bit of information about Annette. There's Annette. Annette, who settled in Shropshire in England with husband Mike the year after Elvis's death, remembered the singer as being like a big brother to the innocent teenager who had been plucked from obscurity after being spotted working on a market stall by film producer Judd Bernard. And there's actually what Annette looks like today. She says he had a terrific sense of humor. He was always playing games. There were a couple of times off stage when the light came on for me to go through the door onto the set, and he would grab my coat so that I could walk and the crew would be calling for me. I had a ball. It was tremendous fun. She got a first take of the star's legendary generosity as well at the end of filming when she was making small talk about how youngsters back in England would have to save to buy their first car. After a day on set, we were talking about how youngsters have to save every penny to buy a car after their graduation, she said. In the US, most youngsters were given a car, but not in the UK. Then one day in the car park, Elvis asked her to follow him and asked her to close her eyes. At that moment, I knew he had a surprise waiting for me, but never in my wildest dreams could I have thought of a sports car, she says. It was a white Mustang convertible. Elvis handed me the keys and said, "It's yours." He's done this many times, hasn't he? This is legendary, really. I couldn't believe it, but I think he did things like that quite often, she says. I think if he was able to help somebody, he liked to do that. It is said that when he found out that he had to sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm for the scene in Double Trouble, Elvis shouted, "Has it come to this?" And Annette believes that he was definitely falling out of love with the movie industry by 1966-67. I think more than anything, he wanted to be back out on stage to his fans. Well, we know that because he said later, didn't he? I couldn't wait. I think he was quite pleased with the musicals when they stopped. I think he would like to have done a more serious picture. He wanted to do more than just musicals. I think he could have been a very good actor, but for the films he was in, all sorts of things, family films, which were more songs and then more songs and songs and songs. They were just, you know, the storylines were getting smaller and smaller, and it was just songs after songs. Annette, who worked as a secretary at a Telford-based SMP Security before her retirement, was offered a 7-year contract by MGM Studios after Double Trouble, but decided acting wasn't for her. She rarely talks about her part in the film and reckons many people have no idea about her previous career. She says, I had great fun, but it was very hard work. You would be there on set at 8 in the morning and you could be there until 6:30, 7 p.m. at night. Nobody could go until everything was perfect. Annette returned to the UK, not only leaving her brief film career behind, but also her Ford Mustang. I found it would cost rather a lot to bring it back to the UK. Today, of course, it would be worth a fortune as a treasured piece of movie and musical history. But she gave it to her brother, who was living in the US at the time. He used it for a few years and then sold it when it broke down. I wonder where that car is now. Annette was no doubt that if Elvis had lived to a ripe old age, he would have done nothing to lessen the legacy of his work. I'll say that again. Annette has no doubt that if he had lived to the ripe old age, it would have done nothing to lessen the legacy of his work. She said, he just had something special about him. Yes, well, we know that. Recording sessions took place at, radio recorders and at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios in Hollywood, California, June 28th, 29th, 30th, 1966. The album peaked at number 47 on the Billboard 200. Not bad. Elvis had usually insisted on working in the comfortable environment of a regular recording studio and had avoided the large movie studio sound stages. But after the first day's recording, MGM executives, with an eye on budget, insisted on moving the soundtrack recordings after the first night to just such a soundstage. Elvis didn't like recording on sound stages, and it shows. A frustrated Elvis dutifully went along, but the final straw was having to sing Old MacDonald. Elvis storming out of the session in a huff after finishing a very short master recording of Long-Legged Girl with a short dress on. That song would be issued as a single in late April, prior to the film's premiere, and would peak at an anemic 63 on the Billboard Hot 100. 9 songs were recorded for the film, coming in at a brief 17:11, and far too short for a normal LP. To bring up the running time, 3 tracks recorded on the Lost album, sessions of May 1963, were added to push the album over the 20-minute mark. 2 had already been issued as B-sides, Never Ending, the flip side of a 4-year-old album track Such a Night, and Blue River on the back of an 8-year-old Volt track Tell Me Why. It Won't Be Long was recorded for the film but was not used. Let's have some more photographs of Elvis from Double Trouble. In 2004, Double Trouble was reissued on the Follow That Dream label in a special edition that contained the original album tracks along with a selection of alternate takes. Now, there's a goof as well, actually, in the movie that people sometimes point out. It says, in the closing credits, Norman Rossington and Chips Rafferty were credited with each other's roles. Norman Rossington played Archie Brown and Chips Rafferty played Arthur Babcock, contrary to what is listed. So if you're ever watching Double Trouble again, just watch that at the end. And I asked you to... it must have been so humiliating for him to sing Old MacDonald, says Maria. Now, the thing is, actually, I picked out that sequence yesterday on YouTube and watched it again. I hadn't watched Double Trouble for quite a while, even though I do like it. And I'm going to tell you about the songs later because I'm going to pick my song of the week. I think there were some really good songs in Double Trouble. Old MacDonald aside, of course, and things like that. So I watched it, and you wouldn't know. Paul Castle, I used to run the Shropshire branch of the official EPFC. No, Annette's daughter used to come to our discos back in the 80s. Yeah, now that's another thing. Thanks for reminding me, Paul. I actually tried to get in touch with Annette to get her on the show. I contacted the Shropshire Star, who had done an interview with her a couple of years back, and they still had her contacts, and the editor, left a voicemail on her phone saying that I was trying to get in contact with her, but she never returned his call. She does actually shun the limelight. You know, it's so many years ago now, I suppose she feels that she has nothing more to say about it. But I would absolutely love to speak to Annette, as it was her one and only film. So there you go. Yeah, I was saying, I watched Old MacDonald a few hours ago on YouTube, and you wouldn't know that Elvis was actually raging or furious about having to do that film sequence. He was a professional. He carried it off with professionalism. As I say, looking at it, you wouldn't know that he was so unhappy having to do it. Colin Paul says, hi Colin, by the way. Good to see you here. Annette would be a great guest. Keep trying. I'm sure she would love to speak to you. But I don't know how else to contact her. That was my only way of contacting her was, through the Shropshire Star, because I can't even look her up in the local phone book for Telford, because obviously I'm not going to find her under Annette Day. She will be listed under her married name. So I've hit a brick wall as far as Annette is concerned. Unless, of course, there's somebody out there who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows Annette. You never know. You just never know how things work out. Hi, Joe Hanley. Nice to see you. Poll. I shortlisted some songs from Double Trouble and asked you to vote on them. I asked, could I fall in love? City by Night. There is so much world to see. And then just for a little bit of mischief, I put in there Old MacDonald to see how many votes it would get and if anybody would comment on it. Bossa Nova Baby says, my faves are from the bonus tracks Never Ending and Blue River. If I had to choose a fave song from the film, I would like I Love Only One Girl for another catchy tune. I also like It Won't Be Long and Long Leg Girl and Baby If You Give Me All Your Love. But as usual, I like them all. Joy Lamanca, hi Joy, says, from the album Never Ending, Take One is my favourite. However, thought it was a good idea whoever thought it was a good idea overdubbing Elvis's voice so strongly in Could I Fall in Love was a huge disservice, since his voice got kind of covered up. Well, I actually like that overdubbing. I like that harmony vocal. It's never struck me that it's too loud. Maybe I should listen again. Maybe it is. So I go with the undubbed master here on your list, Steve. Thanks for that, Joy. Richard Grattan says City by Night is a great track. It's rather unique. Doesn't sound like any other song in Elvis's repertoire. I quite like it. Long-Legged Girl is a good one too. Yeah, City by Night is great. It's a lovely bluesy, jazzy sort of song, isn't it? With the muted trumpet and the trombone and everything. And yeah. Jim Tightset Tyler. I remember buying this and Frankie and Johnny from a small store in North Wales in 1982. I was thrilled because they were Canadian imports in thick cardboard sleeves and they had tan labels. Well, they would be quite collectible, I'd say. Thought I hadn't seen the film, though I hadn't seen the films, and it would be some years later till I did. I think I saw Frankie and Johnny in Hungarian the first time. That was some experience. I instantly liked them both. On Double Trouble, There's So Much World to See has always been a clear winner. I am staggered to see that it is near the bottom of the poll. Well, we'll check the poll in a minute, actually. I still watch Double Trouble once in a while. My only regret is that it had been made with a little more care. It could have been a really good film from the Swing in London era. Yeah. Elvis looks a lot more at ease in it than he does in the other films. On the album itself, Never Ending was the one I played over and over. The Chipmunk Has Pneumonia. I like that. That's a great name. The Chipmunk Has Pneumonia. I hope the chipmunk gets better. Voted for City by Night, which I enjoy, but I do love Long-Legged Girl with a Short Dress On. That song is so much fun to listen to, and it has bop. Okay. T.A. Cridge, or Tackridge. My favourite is Long-Legged Girl. That distorted guitar sound is great. Yes, it is. Brian Roberts. From the list, it's Could I Fall in Love, but my favourite song from the movie is Baby If You Give Me All Your Love, Take Two. Right, okay. You know, I might link actually that Take Two of Baby If You Give Me All Your Love in the description box below, and you can listen to that if anybody's interested. Jack Mullins, City by Night is my pick of the 5. And then he says, really, Steve, Old MacDonald, laugh out loud. But My Long-Legged Girl is a strong rocker. In my opinion, that's my favourite from the film. I've just explained, actually, Jack, why I put Old MacDonald in there, just for a little bit of mischief. Jill Brett, hi Jill. I have voted Could I Fall in Love? And the answer is yes, I could have easily fallen helplessly in love with Elvis. Mandy Potts says Long-Legged Girl. Megan Nonke, hi, says my least favourite movie, but I'd watch Elvis reading a book. I picked Long-Legged Girl, a rocking good fun song. Never Ending would be my second choice. Steve, have you just put Old MacDonald in there just to see if anybody would vote for that song? Crafty. Well, did they? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the poll. Okay. Well, over half the votes, Could I Fall in Love? 52%. Double Trouble, 23%. City by Night, wow, only got 12%. And Old MacDonald got as many votes as There Is So Much World to See. Okay, I know people probably voted for it because it was kind of a fun sequence and everything like that. But when you think that, you know, Elvis had actually come to that when he was sort of only a few years ago singing songs like Jailhouse Rock, King Creole, Hard-Headed Woman and all that. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, I will say no more about that. I'll be opening the phone lines soon. But if everybody is ready for the Fan of the Month quiz, don't forget a prize at the end of every month for the person that has the most correct answers. Don't forget, on there, on my on the right-hand side of the screen, Elvis 24-hour radio. You can download it on Google Play Store, and you can listen to it online on the website as well. 24 hours, 365 days a week. He plays, you know, he plays Elvis tracks, then he plays rarities, outtakes, live performances, all those sort of things. So you can listen to Elvis wherever you are, 24 hours a day on the go. And don't forget, you can also like this video or like the channel by giving me the thumbs up. It does help. Giving thumbs up does help. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed by hitting the red subscribe button at the bottom right there. In fact, I've got a little arrow pointing towards it to help you. And don't forget, click on the bell and turn it black, and make sure it says all notifications, not just personalized, because if it's personalized, you won't hardly get any at all. Right, Old MacDonald were a much better track than Queenie Wahine. Well, it's a toss-up, really, isn't it? Yeah, some of the songs in Paradise Warren Style were quite weakish. They were okay when you were watching the movie because they kind of made sense what was going on the screen. But if you were just listening to the album and Elvis was talking to ring, singing about Dayton, or he was singing about A Dog's Life or Queenie Wahine, you know, you were thinking, why is he singing these things? So you had to really see the movie and watch the movie to appreciate the songs. And the same probably with Old MacDonald as well. I mean, they're on the back of a open bed truck, a flatbed truck, and they have the crates of animals behind them. But I think that Sandy Miller, Elvis came back from the studio one night when he was filming Double Trouble, and Sandy Miller, who I've interviewed for this channel, actually you'll find the interview with Sandy Miller on this channel, said, hi Elvis, did you have a good day? And he says, well, they had me singing to chickens today. So, Danielle says, I like A Dog's Life. Don't get me wrong. If you were just listening to the album, you might be a little bit confused about what's going on. But when you watch the sequence of him in the helicopter, and the dogs are barking and everything like that, and you can actually see Elvis cracking up. Aisha says, I have got Elvis's radio already. Good. I'm glad. And as I say, I'm just trying to help him out. He's helping me out. I'm helping him out. And it all helps Elvis out. Yeah, you can actually see Elvis cracking up when he's singing A Dog's Life, because obviously we know that he lip synced to the songs. For technical reasons, he had to do that. And half the time he's just bursting out laughing when he's singing A Dog's Life, because the dogs are laughing and laughing. Was Clambake filmed the same year or before Double Trouble? Well, Clambake was filmed afterwards, and it was his last movie before he got married to Priscilla. Sort of February, March, April time, and then he married Priscilla. Jeanette says, I like Queenie Wahine, must be because it's nostalgic for me. I mean, listen, as I've said many, many times before, most of us would listen to Elvis singing the phone directory. Naked HD online strips without, if somebody could actually get rid of that. In fact, I'll try and get rid of that actually. Maybe I can't, I don't know. Message deleted. Somebody else has got it for me. Okay. I don't know who's doing that, but it's not very nice anyway. Hide user from this channel. Yeah, it's not, I don't know who's doing that, but it's not very nice, and it's not very funny either. So each to their own. Yeah, now let's do the fan of the month. And of course, the person that gets the question right first gets a... Okay. So, Maxine, if you are ready, and Dave, if you are ready, they normally help me out by telling me or confirming that I've got the right name first. Paradise Hawaiian Style soundtrack was played quite a bit at my grandparents' house. Yeah. No, Steve, 1969 was his last two movies. It was either Change of Habit or Charles. Not sure what that's on about there. Lynn? They're gone. Yes, you do a great job. Thanks, Maxine. Yeah, we just hide hide them from... Yeah, that's right, Dave. We remove them. We don't even bother to put them in timeout now. It's hilarious. I mean, the person doing that, I don't know what they think they're going to achieve, you know. Darla, welcome to the channel. Nice to have you on board. She says, it's my first time watching this video. As I say, all newcomers are welcome, and everybody, all the regulars are welcome as well. And I do appreciate you joining in. And yeah, I mean, if anybody's wondering about interviews coming up, I have 3 or 4 requests out for interviews, just waiting for them to come back in or come back to me. So yeah, just keep watching, because there isn't just these live streams. There's also interviews as well with people that worked with Elvis and knew Elvis and so forth. And if you haven't listened to them all, they're there for you on this channel. You can listen to them anytime you wish. Now, sorry to go off at a tangent there, but I've got the Fan of the Month quiz coming up March the 13th, which is 2 of 4. Darla says, I have loved Elvis for 55 years. Brilliant. Great to hear that. Really, really great to hear that. Don't forget, if you know, obviously Elvis fans know other Elvis fans. Of course we do. If you know of anybody that doesn't know about this channel, then please do tell them about this, and hopefully they'll be interested. So if Dave is standing by and Maxine is standing by, it's general knowledge. It's not this one I normally do over the last few weeks where I give you the first letter of each word of a song title and you have to figure out what it is. This is just general knowledge. And I'm going to start with a really easy one and see who gets the first. Which record company did Elvis sign with in November 1955? That is a really, really easy question. It's just going to be speed now, isn't it, really? Thank you, Dave. I agree with you 100%. Okay, so it's RCA, and I missed who it was, so maybe somebody can help me out. I think it was Banjo Paul, then Lou Dane. A couple of people said Sun. No, Sun was his first in 1954. So I think I think it was Banjo Paul, but I'll just wait. I thought I'd start you with an easy one. RCA. So who was the first person to type RCA and get the Yeah, Banjo Paul. Congratulations, Banjo, and you get I like the easy ones. Yeah, I try and mix them up a little bit when I'm thinking about and writing them out and doing them. And I kind of think, right, well, do easy ones, do harder ones. Then some are just, it's speed. And then other ones are knowledgeable. And Dave was, thanks, Dave, for saying it's Banjo Paul. Now, this is about a character in one of Elvis's movies. And it was, what was Elvis's character's name in The Trouble with Girls? Dolores Petrie. Well done, Dolores, RCA. So, yeah, what was Elvis's character's name in The Trouble with Girls and how to get into it? I'm going to give that to Brian Roberts, if that's okay, because I was looking for both names, Walter Hale. If that's okay with everybody. Brian Roberts, I'll just wait to see if Brian Roberts gets the... It was indeed Walter Hale. And didn't he look fantastic in that white suit? And we'll be getting round to that in a few weeks' time. We're getting near the end of the movies, actually. Okay, David Ewing was first. Are we going to give it to David Ewing because he put Walter? That's okay. If everybody is happy with I'll go with the majority and say David, if that's okay. I see the Elvis family. Okay, yeah, Brian. Right, Brian Roberts. We'll go with Brian. I should have said that I wanted, Christian name and surname. Okay, right. So, or what I could do is I could say that question 3, again, this is going to be quite an easy one. Very, very easy to type. It'll all be down on... do you know what? Some people are saying, well done, David, and good job, Brian. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to give it to... I'm going to split it. I'm going to give it to Brian and David. If that's okay. All right. Because David Ewing, if that's okay. If that's all right with everybody, they'll get a point each. Because I like to be fair. Right. Question number 3 is how many times was Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show? How many times was Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show? So they both get a... David and Brian. Okay, I've got Norsette saying 3, which is the correct answer. So Norsette gets a... Well done, Norsette. A lot of people saying 3. Oh, Duncan. Oh, Duncan says 4. Oh, Duncan. It's 3. The same number of CDs that you will be getting in the post. Make sure everyone likes this channel. Over 20 some likes so far. Yes, as I say, thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe by clicking the little red subscribe box bottom right of the screen and clicking the bell and making sure that it's all not personalized. Oh yeah, where is the sound for the wrong answer? I think it's this button. Yes. Okay, so that's actually Duncan, isn't it? Or as Banjo Paul says, whap, whap, whap. Okay. Yes. Oh, thanks, Gregory, asking everybody there to show their support. But it is important that you show support simply because it helps the video, and the more people that see the video and know about the channel know about Elvis. Well, not know about Elvis. Everybody knows about Elvis, but you know what I'm saying. Another week closer to the movie as well. That's okay. I've watched the movie trailer about another 30 times this week. Right. So yeah, Elvis was on the Ed Sullivan Show 3 times. And here we go. Dolores Petrie says 3. Get the Elvis word out. Yes, I agree. TCB. How many times was Elvis on the Dorsey Brothers show? Yeah. What do you think of that? And Anula says, can't wait for the movie. You're not alone. Okay, the answer is 6. And I'm pretty sure that the first person to type 6 on my list was Ed Kaiser. Okay, just after Ann White that said 2, Brian Roberts 1, Lou Dane 4, Don McLennan 4. It was 6, believe it or not. Yeah. Jack got it right as well. Right. So I'm just going to wait for that. Ed got in, and Maxine says Banjo Paul. Okay. So we have a split decision. Dave is saying Ed for 6 times. Between January and March 1956, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, Banjo says not me, definitely. Yeah, Banjo put 2. That's okay. And then Maxine says, well done, Ed. So Banjo Paul should really get this, shouldn't he? I know how fond he is of that sound effect. Leslie says, ask me a question about Charo, and I'm there. Yeah, well, Charo will be coming up in a few weeks' time, and also I will think of some Charo questions. I might even do a whole week of Charo questions and see how many you can get, Leslie. Right, question number 5. What was the original air date for the 1968 NBC TV special? There you go. The original date in the US for the NBC TV special. Okay. December the 3rd, 1968. Jack Mullins. Well done, Jack. And just as a coincidence, that sound effect is actually from the 68 special, as we probably know. Okay. Arkansas Dave says Jack Mullins. Yeah, it was December the 3rd. Yeah, December the 3rd, 1968. Edwidge, Bossa Nova. Yeah, a lot of people getting that right. Boy, that must have been some. My coffee is working. Yeah. Well, you know how much I love coffee. That's why I'm always asking you to buy me coffees, because I love it so much. So yeah, that must have been some day for Elvis. I know he rang. He was in California, but he rang somebody in Memphis to ask them what he thought of it, because obviously they saw it in Memphis because of the time difference of 2 hours or whatever it was. They got to see it in Memphis before they got to see it in California. That's how nervous he was about it. Yeah, he was. Nuala says he was nervous. He was nervous doing the sit-down shows and the stand-up shows and all that. But he was also nervous about it when it was screened as well. Okay, right. So, well done, Jack. And the final question for tonight, question 6 of 6. What was the original air date, the official air date of Elvis in Concert, his final TV special? What was the, and I want the month, the day, and the year. Well done, Jack. Wow, I tell you what, Jack is flying today. October the 3rd, 1977. Well done, Jack. Oh, you get a... Anula says June 24th. Ah, she gets a... Okay. Right. Will I open the lines in case anybody wants to call in? Folks, the lines are now open if you want to ring in about Double Trouble, or if you want to ring in about anything Elvis, the biopic, anything at all regarding Elvis. If you want to ring in, that's no problem whatsoever. And straight away, I have a call coming in. Who to answer? I will. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hi, Steve. This is Salam again from California. How are you?
Hey, Salam. How's things?
Everything's great. I just wanted to call back and tell you kind of a funny story.
Please do. Please do. It's nice to hear from you again.
Thank you. A couple of nights ago, I had a dream that I went to watch the movie.
Oh, right.
And it was terrible.
Oh,
and
no.
In the dream, I was crying and very upset and very angry. And on my way, I was in the dream telling my sister how angry I was.
What was so?
That's how worried I am about it.
Yeah, well,
dreams.
I'm just thinking now. Actually, that tends to, dreams like that tend to mean that we have sort of like worries about something, and it sounds like it's preying on your mind. Can you remember why you were disappointed in the film? Were they getting stuff wrong?
The actor was doing a terrible job, and they were getting things wrong, and they were trying to be like politically correct about everything, and in a weird way. And I was just so upset. And the singing was off. It was like very impersonator like cheap impersonator singing. And I know it's not going to be like that from the trailer, but I guess I'm just afraid.
Yeah, I think we're all worrying a little bit. Maybe we're overthinking it. I don't know, but no, I think it's going to be the exact opposite. Actually, Salam, I think we're going to be fine. I think it's going to be just. I mean, people. I read a comment there earlier on Facebook to say that Rocket Man did really, really well. Bohemian Rhapsody did really, really well. There's no reason now why this one shouldn't do even better, because Elvis is bigger. I'm sorry to say, I think he is anyway. He's bigger than Elton John and Freddie Mercury.
Oh, for sure. I agree. And yesterday, my sister went to watch the Batman movie, and the trailer came up. Oh. And she filmed it, from the movie screen, and she sent it to me. It looks even better on the big screen, and you hear the sounds coming in from left and right. It's going to be wonderful, and it just looks amazing on the big screen.
Well, I'm going to go to the movies now just to watch the trailer. I can watch the trailer and then walk out and not bother to watch the main feature.
I would pay a ticket just to watch that trailer.
Yeah. I'd say it's probably amazing on the big screen. The biggest screen I've seen it on is 55 inch, you see, because I play it through the television. But
oh, me too, but it's still not enough.
Yeah.
Also, I've noticed it's awakened a lot of new Elvis fans. My brother-in-law, one of them, he had no idea I sent him the trailer, and he said he couldn't sleep all night from it, and he started looking up Elvis videos, and he was watching video after video, and I was sending him all the performances, Aloha from Hawaii, 68, even the early stuff, and he didn't sleep for hours just binging on Elvis. Like, he just discovered something new, and it was so heartwarming for me.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know what happens with Elvis. Something just triggers in your brain, isn't it? And you just can't stop.
that's the thing. And I think this movie, people are going to go home and do the same thing. They're going to hop on YouTube and they're going to look him up, and they're just going to fall in love just like we all have.
I mean, it's obviously going to be on television as well at a later date, because that's what happens. Sky TV and HBO and all those people, they'll show it as well. So, and of course, it'll be on DVD. And I'm just hoping there will be a director's cut as well.
Oh, I'm hoping to. I can't wait. It's only March. We still have a long ways away.
Yeah. I know every time I start a live broadcast, I think, well, one more week nearer the movie.
Well, it's great to have something to look forward
to,
and
I agree.
I'm very excited, and I think it's going to be great. I just wanted to share that funny story.
Yeah. Well, that was a nightmare. That wasn't just a dream. That was a nightmare.
Exactly.
But it's all going to turn out fine. I'm sure it's going to turn out fine.
Hopefully.
Thanks for calling in. It's lovely to hear from you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh no! Please don't. People don't start having nightmares and panic attacks and things like that about this movie. It's going to be fine. I just feel it's going to be fine. Hello, who's calling Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel?
Hi, Steve. It's Mark.
Hey, Mark. How were you listening to Salam there about the movie?
Yeah, I was. I've seen the trailer myself on the big screen as well.
Oh, have you? I'm so jealous of anybody that's seen it at the movies. I really am.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing, Steve. Yeah, it looks so good on the big screen. The sounds. I think, I've got my thoughts the same as you. I think finally we'll get the ultimate Elvis film that we all want. It'll do him justice, I think.
Tell me, did you hear anybody make any comments or anything when they were watching or after the trailer about, oh, that looks really good or anything like that?
Yeah, you did. And plus, all the trailer footage you see, obviously on the net, I've got people at work who are not really Elvis fans, but they've seen the trailer and they go, God, that looks really good. It looks like, because obviously they're into Queen and the Rocky Man and all that. And they go, oh, I think I'll go and see that.
Yeah.
I do like Elvis, but they're not an Elvis fan like me. But yeah, I've talked to loads of people, and lots of people are just going to go and see the film because they're excited about it.
Oh,
it's great.
This is just so good news. This really is.
Oh, it's great news, mate. And I think, after it's been out and we get the DVD, obviously director's cut and a CD, and maybe then we'll get more Elvis things, off this as well.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a fella called Neil Lancaster who rang me a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying, this could be the springboard for the next 30, 35 years. And it does seem to be shaping up to be that. And I'm just going to be beside myself with joy if it all works out.
Yeah, the more people go and see this film, the more the revenue they make, and they'll see that, there is a wide fan base out there, of all ages, and this stuff that we haven't seen for years. I'm on tour and all sorts of stuff. I'm sure there's bits and dabs elsewhere that we haven't seen. They could make a lot more, stuff to turn out for the fans. And I know, people go and buy it as well.
Yeah, and as I said to somebody the other week, hopefully it'll be the springboard for Elvis on tour as well, a recut of that.
Yeah,
and show the stuff we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
If they know the interest is there, and the revenue, they'll do it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Dave says Tom Hanks makes a good Colonel Tom Parker.
Yeah, for what I've seen so far, it looks okay. Yeah, I wouldn't criticise him. I'm not too fussed about what he sounds like at the moment because you got to see the whole film. So I'm not going to go by the trailer.
Well, the trailer only gives you a flavour. I mean, it's 168 minutes, and we've seen 3 minutes. So
yeah. No, well, I've got all my. Tom Hanks is a brilliant actor, and I think he'll do the Colonel's justice. I think he'll. I've got no thoughts. I even think the guy who's taking Elvis off, the Justin. I think he'll. I think he'll do a good job. I think. If Baz being the director. It ain't going to be some, Tim Alley film, is it really?
Well, he's also, as we know, a big Elvis fan as well, which is another plus. Another plus. He's a great director, and he's an Elvis fan as well. It's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Did you want to speak about Double Trouble?
Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah, we're all getting excited about the film, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like you. Yeah, I like the film. I just think we're getting to that point. I do personally think 67 was probably the worst year for Elvis films. Even though I think Double Trouble was the best one out of the three. You know, Clam Bacon, Easy Come, Easy Go. You know, not the best, but and then of course it picked up again. But Double Trouble, yeah. If I had to pick a song, I would again pick the title track.
Oh, right.
It's a great song. I just think it's the same as Spin Out.
Yeah.
Spin Out was a great song, and Double Trouble, even though it's only a short track, it's a bouncy number.
Yeah.
And I like the start of it as well, and it seems to fit in well from you watch the film at the start, it fits in well with the film, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
there's actually a lot of short songs on Double Trouble. Long-Legged Girl with a Short Dress On again is another short one. I said it's only something like 1:30 or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, you know, Old McDonald's. You know, I've watched it time and time again. I find it's funny. It's funny. It fits into the film. Yeah. If you listen to the song without watching the film, it's a bit strange.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but you know, you watch the film, it fits in. It's like every Elvis song from every Elvis film. You know, they're all good in their way, but they fit into that segment of the film.
It's the interaction. Because the interaction between him and Annette during Old MacDonald is far better than just listening to it on the LP.
Yeah,
same with Dating and same with Dog's Life.
Yeah.
You know, what's happening on the screen is hilarious.
Yeah, his acting is still good in it. You know, he puts on the part. He doesn't make it look, you know, like anything that it shouldn't be. And and I always watch that film and think as Elvis. It's like Elvis in a James Bond film, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. There's a lot of suit photographs in it, isn't there?
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's enjoyable film, you know. And I think the title soundtrack itself, there is some good songs. I do agree with you as well on City by Night, a great bluesy track. Yeah. It fits in well, and the bonus tracks were good as well.
Yeah,
you know.
Great.
Help the album along, yeah. Great.
All righty. Thanks, Mark.
Right, cheers, Dave.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot,
all right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to say about Double Trouble is the comedy sequences. There's some good comedy sequences, and they are funny. I mean, you know, some films, some movies that people make, they try and be funny, and they're not. But Elvis films, the comedy always kind of worked. You know, when he's leaning on the side of the boat and the fella is smiling over at him and he smiles back at him and he smiles back at him, and then all of a sudden the gate opens that Elvis is leaning against and he's kind of holding on. That's really funny. I think that's really, really funny. That gets me every time. And then there's another sequence where he's the ship is just pulling out of port and the big foghorn keeps going off, and every time he's trying to shout Jill to try and find Jill Conway, Annette's character, the big foghorn goes off and it covers his shout, and then he's stood right next to somebody and he shouts really, really loud Jill, and the foghorn doesn't go off, and he frightens the life out of them. And he says, excuse me. That's another funny part. So it is a great movie, I think. Double Trouble, great movie. Clambake had 12 tracks right. I can't remember, Dave, but again, there was Guitar Man was a bonus. We're going to do, we're going to take a phone call. That's what we're going to do. Hello?
Hello, Steve.
Hi. Oh, somebody's ringing you, Jeanette. It's not me.
It's my niece.
How many phones have you got?
What are the odds? Oh, gosh.
Do you want to take
Sorry,
it?
Guys.
Do you want to take it?
No. No,
Elvis is more important. Okay. Elvis is more important.
I just saw her yesterday. I can call her back. I just wanted to talk quickly about the Double Trouble thing.
Okay.
Movie thing.
Yeah.
You know, when I first saw it, I didn't quite like it.
It kind of grew on you, did it?
It did. It grew on me, but there are some things about it that just kind of get on my nerves. Oh. I don't know. To me, there just seems like way too many characters in this movie to try and follow.
Right.
I don't know. And then I think there was so much music playing. I don't mean with Elvis singing scenes. I just mean music playing during certain scenes. It just kind of seemed a little chaotic.
When he's in the nightclubs and things like that. That's the swinging 60s supposed to be before he went to Belgium, I think. Yeah.
or even the car chase scene. It was like, it was too much. But when you were talking about the funny scenes, it's definitely slapstick. I thought, I don't know. I don't love the movie, but I like it. It grew on me, like you said. I think there was too much of the three brothers going on there. I thought the scene where he was outside at the festival, I love only one girl. I thought that whole scene was way too long. I know it sounds like a grumpy person, but the funny parts to me was when he was checking into the hotel with Jill.
Yeah.
And that lady starts rubbing on him, and he says, "If you're not a tailor, I'm in big trouble." I thought that was one of the funniest things in the movie.
Yeah.
That to me is really funny.
I like those two sequences I've just mentioned about where he nearly falls out through the door of the ship.
I liked that scene too.
Yeah, I think it's funny. And also the bit where he's shouting for Jill and then the foghorn doesn't go off. Actually, and Aisha's asked me to make the funny sound again, but I didn't think it was that funny. It was kind of a like that, wasn't it?
Exactly, but like I said, I like who's the guy that Georgie, his friend Georgie. I knew when I first saw the movie, I went, this guy looks so familiar to me. And then I remember when I was younger and I used to watch the Monkees, the TV series.
Yeah.
And I remember him being on the Monkees, so maybe that's why I liked him.
Oh, I didn't make that connection, I must admit.
And then of course the Inspector de Groot. I know him from the American series Hogan's Heroes. So I think that's why I like him. But I thought there was too much slapstick stuff going on. The only thing I can say about the slapstick is Elvis enjoyed movies like Pink Panther or Peter Sellers or whatever. So
he did.
I don't know if maybe he did enjoy all those scenes. I don't know.
He definitely had a flair for comedy, I think.
He had good
the comedic parts, he made them believable, falling through the door and everything like that. They were believable. I could see somebody like myself doing that, leaning against the door and it opening and nearly falling in the dock.
Same here. But you're right. I think Elvis was a good comedic actor because he did the facial expressions. He was good at physical comedy. And he does this a lot in the films where if a woman says something to him, then he kind of mimics her, He does that a lot in his movies, and it's funny. As far as Annette Day goes, wouldn't have been my first choice. I think it's cool how she was chosen while, shopping in an antique store, but to me, there was not the chemistry there. She wasn't the most lovable person in the movie, in my opinion. I don't know. She's a lovely girl.
I think she looked like what she was supposed to, a young heiress. I think that's I mean, she wasn't. I agree with you. She probably wasn't the most glamorous, but she was pretty in a sort of a schoolgirlish sort of way, wasn't she?
She was a lovely she was only 19 when she made the movie.
Something like
I just didn't think they paired well together. But the villainess in the movie, she didn't really have a lot going on, in my opinion. They could have gave her a little bit more. And I did like at the very end of the movie where he and Annette Day's character are together, and he turns and he looks and he sees one guy is still in the house, and it ended up being the Scotland Yard guy, and he jumps over the chair and he flies and he tackles him.
Yes.
I always rewind that part for some reason. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And last thing, City by Night was definitely my pick. I love the whole scene. Very sultry, different, and I love when I see Elvis with his hands in front of him and he's snapping.
Oh yes.
Nobody looks cooler doing the snap moves than Elvis, and I love the vibe of that song.
Yeah, well, my song of the week is coming up from Double Trouble soon, so stay tuned to see what I picked.
I will.
Okay. All right, Jeanette.
Everybody, have a great week.
Same to you. Bye.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Bye now.
Bye. Yeah, right. We're going to do Elvis history. Actually, Yvonne Romaine, wasn't it? I think was Claire, and Dave has asked, "Can I get her on?" Yvonne Romaine played Claire. Can you get her on, Steve? I don't know. She says she's in the UK. Is she still alive, Dave? Yeah, I would be interested, but I'll have to see if I can get contact details for Yvonne. See how I get on. Right. Elvis history, March the 13th, 1956. And we have photos. Elvis went to the Traffic Violations Bureau in Memphis to pay his March 8th speeding ticket. It wasn't the first or his last speeding ticket, I can tell you that. RCA released Elvis, his first album, Elvis Presley. The LP entered Billboard's best-selling pop albums chart at number 11. Not bad for a first album. And within 6 weeks, it had reached number 1, remaining at the top for 10 weeks. The total stay at the chart was 49 weeks. It was the first album in history to sell 1 million copies. Certification as a million seller was made by RIAA on November the 1st, 1966. 1958, King Creole. 1960... there was an ice show at Ellis Auditorium where Elvis conducted the orchestra with a lighted baton. 1961, between 6 p.m. and 5:15 a.m., Elvis recorded at the RCA Studio B in Nashville. He recorded I'm Coming Home, Gently, In Your Arms, Give Me the Right, I Feel So Bad, It's a Sin, I Want You With Me, There's Always Me, Starting Today, Sentimental Me, Judy, and Put the Blame on Me. Wow. Amazing when you think he recorded that standard of songs, all those standards of songs from 6 p.m. to 5:15 a.m. Artists today would take months to put down songs like that. 1963, principal photography on Fun in Acapulco was completed. The Colonel threw a party for the cast and crew. Now, Elvis employee Richard Davis was involved in a motor car accident that killed a gardener on this day. Some discrepancy about when this actually happened, as some Elvis books say it happened years later. August 22nd, 1967, a recording session at Studio B was cancelled, and the Colonel shipped Elvis and Priscilla off to Las Vegas to keep them out of the way. Now, the thing is there's the cutting about it. Richard E. Davis, 23, identified as employee of Elvis, who was driving the car. I don't know. There does seem to be two different versions of when it happens. Some people say 1963, others say 1967. 1964, we have a production of Roustabout. And then we have 1965, we have Harem Scarum. He was working on Harem Scarum. 1969, 1968, we have Live a Little, Love a Little. Looks fantastic there. This'll please Leslie. 1969, Charo. Oops, sorry. There's Charo, beg your pardon. Wrong one. Okay, 1974, leaving the Hilton Inn for his concert at Greensboro on March the 13th. That's the thing I should have shown you there. Okay, I think Elvis last showed that photograph earlier on in the day. Smiling Elvis leaving the Hilton. And there's the ticket. Somebody saved the ticket. And there he is on stage. 1975, Elvis returned to RCA Studio A in Los Angeles. He worked from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. He recorded Bringing It Back. Oh, Bringing It Back. Oh, my goodness me. That was actually one of my songs of the week, wasn't it, when I first started doing these live shows? Ooh, he did 4 takes, and take 4 was the master. Thank you, Salem, for my super chat, and I certainly will buy myself a cup of coffee, and I'll put the rest back into the channel. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. Also, Pieces of My Life. He did 4 takes of Pieces of My Life as well. So 2 good songs, actually, that day. Bringing It Back. I got to chill down my spine thinking of Bringing It Back, and Pieces of My Life. So that was this day in Elvis history. Pick of the week from Double Trouble. Elaine, I think, sent me this. And this is the look Elvis gave somebody when they told him that he was actually going to be singing Old MacDonald in the movie. That's a still from the movie. But she said it looks like that's the look he got on his face about old MacDonald. Yeah. Okay, now my song of the week from... Yeah, I'll give you another reminder about this. If you follow the channel on Instagram and you send me a message, Elvis Prize, on the private messenger on Instagram, and I'll pick a winner at the end of March and I'll send you something Elvis-y. I'll pick something out nice and Elvis-y. So Arkansas Dave says, he said, "You got to be kidding me." Yeah, I'm sure he did. And Duncan is getting that as well, because he was the February fan of the month last week. Last week, yes, it was only last week. Seems a long time ago now since I was talking to Duncan. I actually rang him on air. I might ring the person who I picked from Instagram as well, because I can ring on Instagram. You can ring me on Instagram. I can ring them on Instagram. So that'll be something else as well, won't it? Right. So my song of the week from Double Trouble is... I'm going to put up the poll again because I'm going to show you the one I've picked. Do you know, I never did the live poll. I forgot to do the live poll because I'll get your opinion on this. You can vote on this. And what it is this album here from Elvis in Memphis. Fantastic album. It was definitely one of the best albums, studio albums that Elvis ever did, because it came from some of the best sessions he ever did in Memphis. And the question is, which of these is your favorite track from the album from Elvis in Memphis? So I'm going to quickly put that up, and you can be voting on that while we're going along. Hopefully that'll come up in a second. Yeah, there it is. Which of these is your favorite track from the album from Elvis in Memphis? Wearing That Loved On Look, Long Black Limousine, Power of My Love, or Any Day Now? And you can only vote on that if you're watching this live. It's a live stream vote, but you will hear me if you wait till the end of the live stream. Even if you're watching it on playback, you will hear me give the result. So I was going to tell you what my song of the week was, wasn't I? And I was going to put the poll up just to show you that it is, I'm in the minority again. It's City by Night, which only got 12%. Now, Could I Fall in Love, I agree, is great. And I particularly like the vocal overdub harmony that Elvis did for that, although somebody did say on the comments that they thought it was too loud. So I don't know. I actually like it. So that is my song of the week, and I'm going to link below. It was written by Bill Giant, Bernie Baum, and Florence Kay, and I'm going to link an alternate take in the description box below, and you will definitely hear the difference between this one and the released master. He seems to be clipping his words a lot sharper in this alternate take. So yeah, give it a listen. It's quite a good alternative take. Now I'm going to give you another few seconds just to vote on that. Which of these is your favorite track from the album from Elvis in Memphis? Wearing That Loved On Look, Long Black Limousine, Power of My Love, and Any Day Now. And I'll be very interested to see what comes up in that vote. Of course, it was, you know, one of his more successful albums for obvious reasons. Great recording sessions, January, February 1969. And I got to admit, I did have trouble with shortlisting only 4. You see, with the live poll, you're only I think the normal poll I do on the community tab, you can put 5 options. On the live vote, you can only put 4, and I had terrible difficulty, shortlisting 4 tracks from Elvis in Memphis. So I also, what was the other one I wanted to put on there and I couldn't? I put Wearing That Love Done Look. I got that. Oh yeah, Only the Strong Survive. I had to take that one out because I couldn't take out Long Black Limousine, Power of My Love, and Any Day Now. So I had to take out Only the Strong Survive. So I can now, if you want, I can close that vote or end the poll and see what happens. Which of these is your favorite track from the album From Elvis in Memphis? And I'm going to end the poll. And I'm going to have a look to see. In reverse order, Wearing That Love Done Look got 18%. Any Day Now got 21%. Power of My Love got 27%. And the winner, with 32%, got Long Black Limousine. And that wouldn't have been my vote. My vote would have been Any Day Now. That's what I would have voted for, which got 21%. So it was third out of the 4th. Any Day Now. I love Any Day Now, especially that part in the middle where he hits the falsetto. Just unbelievable vocal performance. So that would have been my choice, Any Day Now. But the winner was Long Black Limousine. So, thanks very much. So, it'll be the same time in the US next week, an hour later than normal, until we put our clocks forward the following week, and then it'll all be synced up again. And the next movie on the list is Easy Come, Easy Go. Thanks very much for joining me. I've had a great time. Thanks for all the callers. Thanks very, very much. It's always great to speak to people. And look after yourself till next week. Bye now.